Julián Álvarez wanted out. Then he detonated the conflict in public. Now Atlético are refusing to bend, the backlash is growing, and his own bombshell statement may have left him trapped inside the mess he created. Did Alvarez just dig his own grave? That's for you to decide. Julián Álvarez wanted Atlético Madrid to understand one thing. He wants to leave. During the World Cup, he stopped allowing other people to speak for him. After Argentina's victory over Austria, Alvarez confirmed that he had already discussed his future with Atlético. Then he delivered the statement that turned months of rumors into an open conflict. "The best thing for everyone is a transfer," Alvarez said, adding that he wanted to fulfill his dream. That statement was supposed to open the door. Atlético slammed it shut. Diego Simeone has now publicly said that Atlético will not sell him this summer. The club's position remains firm despite Barcelona's pursuit, and Atlético even complained over Barca's alleged approach for the Argentine. Suddenly, Alvarez has a serious problem. Everyone knows he wants out. His manager knows, his teammates know, Atlético supporters know, Barcelona know, and Atlético still control his contract. Alvarez showed his cards before he had won the hand. His deal runs until 2030 and contains a reported €500 million release clause. Atlético have already demonstrated how little enormous offers frighten them. Real Madrid publicly confirmed a €150 million bid earlier this summer. Atlético rejected it. Think about how brutal that is. Alvarez publicly asks to leave. Real Madrid put €150 million on the table. Atlético refuse. Barcelona continue circling. Atlético refuse again. So exactly what did Alvarez expect his bombshell to achieve? Because now the transfer that could rescue him is also the transfer capable of making his position in Madrid even uglier. Barcelona, the biggest club in Catalonia. Alvarez wants to leave Atlético Madrid, while Barcelona remain the club most strongly associated with his desired move. Reports have consistently described Barca as his preferred destination, and for an Atlético supporter, that can feel vicious. Their star striker wants out of Madrid. The destination waiting for him is a major La Liga rival based in Catalonia. He could strengthen a club Atlético must fight domestically while leaving Simeone without the forward around whom he wants to build his attack. That is how a transfer request becomes betrayal in the eyes of supporters. Then there is another layer Alvarez cannot escape. He returns to Spanish football as an Argentina international only weeks after Spain defeated Argentina in the World Cup final. Spain beat Argentina 1-0 after extra time on July 19th. Ferran Torres scored the winner. Enzo Fernandez was sent off. A chaotic confrontation followed the final whistle, and FIFA subsequently opened an investigation into the post-match brawl. Spain celebrated across the country. Argentina walked away devastated. Spain has not forgotten what happened at the World Cup. Alvarez personally has not been charged over the final chaos. This story does not need that claim. He wore Argentina's shirt. He represented the team Spain had just beaten for the biggest trophy in football. And now that same Argentine star is fighting to leave a Madrid club while Barcelona hover over his future. For hostile supporters, that is plenty of fuel. Alvarez may have chosen the worst possible summer to make himself the villain. Before we continue, subscribe to the World Cup Whistleblower. Because Atlético have refused to surrender, Alvarez is due back in Madrid, and now we discover what happens when a player publicly demands an escape that his club has absolutely no intention of giving him. Because today is where this becomes uncomfortable. Alvarez is due to report back to Atlético's training setup after his post-World Cup break. He had already contacted the club and started following an individual training program provided by Atlético ahead of his scheduled August 10th return. Professional, calm, exactly what Atlético want. But imagine walking back into that dressing room after telling the world that leaving would be best for everyone.
Simeone knows Alvarez would rather have an exit. The hierarchy knows, the supporters know, and every photograph of him smiling in Atlético training will now invite the same question. Does he actually want to be there? That is the grave Alvarez may have started digging with his own words. Because Barcelona still have another option. They can walk away. Atlético can make the price unbearable. Barcelona can pursue another striker. The transfer window can close. Then Alvarez is left exactly where he started. Only now everyone knows he wanted to leave. That would be humiliation. His supposed escape collapses. Atlético retain their player. Simeone wins the power struggle. Alvarez has to perform every week in front of supporters who heard him publicly suggest that his future should be somewhere else. And what happens after the first bad performance? The first missed chance? The first frustrated gesture towards Simeone? The first time cameras catch him looking miserable on the bench? Everything becomes evidence. Maybe completely unfair evidence. The speculation will still explode. His head is in Barcelona. He does not care anymore. He wants out. He betrayed Atlético. Once a player publicly announces his desire to leave, normal football moments stop looking normal. And that could tempt Alvarez toward an even more dangerous decision. What if talking no longer works? What if he formally demands a transfer? What if he refuses a training session? What if he tells Atlético that Barcelona is the only destination he will accept? What if he suddenly reports an injury? And what if, in the most poisonous scenario imaginable, he fakes one? There is no evidence Alvarez has done any of that. The question is how desperate he could become if Atlético keeps saying no. A fake injury could keep him unavailable. A training boycott could embarrass the club. A formal demand could destroy whatever remains of the relationship. Saying Barcelona's name publicly could turn an ugly transfer battle into open warfare, and every one of those tactics would carry consequences. Atlético could fine him where regulations allow. Simeone could lose trust. Supporters could turn harder. Barcelona could even decide that the drama is becoming too expensive. The more Alvarez fights for his escape, the deeper the hole could become. Atlético also know exactly how valuable he is. That strengthens their position. Alvarez has scored 49 goals in 106 appearances for the club, according to current reporting. And Simeone has made clear that he expects the Argentine to remain central to his plans. Alvarez cannot simply disappear without Atlético feeling the damage. That gives him leverage. It also gives Atlético every reason to make his exit nearly impossible. And Alvarez has just made sure this war can no longer be hidden. Maybe Barcelona eventually produce an offer Atlético cannot stomach rejecting. Maybe the club changes its mind. Maybe Alvarez gets his dream. But imagine the other ending. Barcelona move on. The window closes. Alvarez stays. The Argentine who wanted to leave Madrid for Barcelona is suddenly standing inside the Metropolitano wearing Atlético colours again. Every supporter remembers the statement. Every rival fan knows the story. Every Barcelona link follows him. Every Argentina reference carries fresh World Cup baggage. Alvarez wanted freedom. He may have manufactured his own prison. One sentence was supposed to increase the pressure on Atlético. Instead, Simeone is still standing firm. Atlético still control the contract. Barcelona still cannot force a sale. And Alvarez is the one who has to return to work. That is why this bombshell could become one of the biggest mistakes of his career. He wanted Atlético to open the door. They locked it. He wanted to fulfill his dream. Now he may have to look the same supporters in the eye
after publicly admitting that his dream lies somewhere else. So did Julián Álvarez finally take control of his future? Or did an Argentine superstar choose the worst possible moment to attack a Spanish club, chase a move toward Catalonia, and publicly reveal exactly how badly he wants out? Because Alvarez wanted to escape Atlético Madrid, he may have just dug himself so deep that Atlético are the only club left holding the ladder.